Hey, welcome back. This is my fourth video in the series. Today I'm going to talk about Ethereum, MyEtherWallet, and we're going to continue our portfolio. Before we bought Bitcoin for $20 each buy. In each video we added to our portfolio, so we've got like $60 in. So we'll check on that, and we'll figure out why we're buying Ethereum today and how we decided that. So here goes. Let me just talk about my series overall. So the purpose of this series is to talk about popular cryptocurrency. We're not going to talk about some obscure little coin or some geeky technical issue. Cryptocurrency is geeky enough. I love the details, but I'm going to try to keep it to the popular stuff. We talk about using the blockchains directly, not exchanges, just the blockchains, and that means wallets, keys, seeds, stuff like that. We're talking about investing, and each video we buy $20 more. We build it to add it to a portfolio that's building over time. We're not selling or trading, and with Ethereum we're going to get to actually use the cryptocurrency. So once we build up a little balance, we can start spending it on D-apps and apps with smart contracts. We'll see what you can do with Ethereum. One of the biggest things you can do is buy more coins, but we'll try to get beyond that with some of our balance. And then, we'll talk about the scams and security methodology, talk about ICOs, stuff like that. So that's what we'll be doing today. So let's get right into it. So our portfolio, we've got a black Trezor from the last series. That's this thing. Let's take a look and see what our balance is. So we go to Trezor, and we go to Wallet, and choose our device. We don't have it plugged in yet. All right. Actually, I want to try that again here. Let's remember this for a moment. I was showing the pin off to the crowd. So if you unplug it and plug it back in, it'll mix up the pin. And let's see if I remember it. So the next time I plug it in, it's going to be mixed up. So you can see the balance is $63. This is the total amount of Bitcoin. So I'm just going to paste this here. So this should stay the same. The dollar amount will change over time depending on the market. So there's our portfolio. It's not really complex enough to put into Excel, but we'll be doing that. Excuse me, just make sure we're still streaming. We'll put it into Excel as we get a more complex portfolio, but basically we got $63 of Bitcoin right now. So we put in 60, it went up a little bit, my brother-in-law put some money on this paper wallet. I think he put $1 on there last time, and the idea was that, if somebody could take this secret barcode, and I don't know if it shows up very well on the camera, but see if they could cache it. Let's see if that is still there as well. So I've got a barcode scanner, and let's Looks like my wires are crossed back there, but this is about $40 from Amazon. You can also download free barcode scanners on your mobile phone if you're not a PC person. So we're going to scan this private key, and actually we're going to scan the public key first. To check the balance, we scan the public key. And it looks like there's still about $1 of Bitcoin on there. So nobody has taken this Bitcoin. If somebody wants to get creative, I'm going to copy the private key to the screen here. So this is the private key. If anybody wants to copy this or use this or take the Bitcoin, it'll be interesting. I'll check in on it next time. If nobody takes it, maybe we'll add more value to it, or maybe we will make the private key bigger or paste it into the chat. Somehow see if we can share Bitcoin out in this way just for fun. It's not the most secure way to share Bitcoin because we don't know who's taking it, but it'll be interesting to learn about securing private keys and what happens if you don't secure them. I keep rolling over this little plastic bag. Alright, I've got my Ethereum t-shirt on today, and so why would we buy Ethereum? I mean, Ethereum's a popular coin, everybody's heard of it, but why is it time to buy it now when we could be buying Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash or Ripple or something like that? So if we go to CoinMarketCap, I noticed a lot of people are watching on their mobile phones. Not really a lot, but some people are watching on their mobile phones, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So here's Ethereum. It's the #2 coin. If you look at this ratio, $169 billion of Bitcoin is out there. That's 17 million Bitcoins multiplied by $9,900 each, which makes $169 billion. Ethereum has almost 100 million Ethereum out there, coins, and they're $820 a piece. So that's $81 billion. So just with these two alone, if you took all the billionaires out there that have this $169 billion and $81 billion, there's people out there, I don't know if they're investing in cryptocurrency or not, but they've decided with all their brains and all their resources, their staff, that Bitcoin is the place to put the money. And Ethereum is looks like about less than half. So less than half of 170 is 81. And we're basically just going to try to follow these billionaires. We don't have the resources that they do. We don't have staff that can research coins. You know, to try to outguess them is just stupid. It's gambling. It's fun. We can go down here to Zcash, and we could dump a bunch of money on Zcash, and maybe it'll go up. But the billionaires, they're putting it on Bitcoin, and they're putting half as much on Ethereum. If you look at the next coin, it's less than half as much again on Ripple. So, you know, we just follow the wise ones. If we take this concept to the stock market, and let's see if we can look up the weights. Go. So if we look at the stocks out there, you've got Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook. Google is right here. They've split it up into two. You've got, you know, big banks. This is Warren Buffett's company. And over here on the weight side, this weight matches their market cap. I wish they would show the market cap exactly. But Apple has a little bit higher market cap than Microsoft. And so, you know, if you were only to buy one stock, maybe Apple would be a good one. And then if you were to split your stock 50-50, maybe you'd go with Apple and Microsoft. If you split your stock 10 ways, you basically say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because it's 2.8. So if you split your stock portfolio 10 ways, you'd want about 40% Apple, 30% Microsoft, and 30% Amazon. That's the way the billionaires have decided to allocate their money, and we can just follow them. S&P 500 is probably, you know, very stable way to own stock, and you know, you don't go down here to Cisco Systems, you know, which is 1/4 the size of Apple, and just, you know, put all your money on Cisco. And if you worked at Cisco, it wouldn't be wise to take your 401k and just put it all in company stock. So I treat cryptocurrency the same way. Cryptocurrency is very volatile, very risky. It's not a safe investment by any means. It's not comparable to stock, but the concepts of, you know, you don't want to throw all your money on NEO and not have any Bitcoin or Ethereum. That would just be crazy. NEO is a $5 billion coin, and Bitcoin and Ethereum are valued a lot more by the billionaires. So am I smarter than all these billionaires? If I worked at NEO and they offered me a bunch of coins, NEO coins, I would sell those NEO coins and I would balance in to Bitcoin and Ethereum. A lot of people that are NEO fans, or, you know, Icon fans or Lisk fans, I happen to own all these coins. I own 90 of the top 100 coins, but I don't, you know, I don't throw it all on some obscure little coin that nobody's heard of. Most of my portfolio is right up here, and so that's how we're going to build our portfolio. Right now we've got some Bitcoin, we've got $63, so I feel pretty safe that I could put $20 on Ethereum, and I'd have a fairly balanced portfolio. If I were to put $20 on Amici next, or Icon next, my portfolio would be way out of balance. So that's how I look at these coins. So we've decided on Ethereum. Let's see, today is 5/5, and we want to get Ethereum. We want to get $20. So how do we do that? So here's our $20. We're gonna buy the Ethereum into our portfolio. So when you have $20 and you want Ethereum, one of the first things you have to think about is, where will you hold that Ethereum? I don't hold money on the exchanges. I have to qualify that. There's some very obscure little coins that, you know, I don't want to manage wallets for 100 different coins. So, so the very smallest ones, I just leave on the exchange because of convenience. But I'm talking about, you know, like $20 balance, stuff like that, not, you know, thousands. So we're going to buy $20 of Ethereum, but we're not going to use an exchange. If you decide to use Coinbase or Gemini or some other exchange to buy Ethereum, I highly recommend that you pull that Ethereum off of the exchange and you hold it at least on a paper wallet, if not a Trezor or Ledger hardware wallet. There's also mobile wallets, there's PC wallets, so we're going to get into a lot of those. Let's take a look. So we've got the $20, now we need to hold it somewhere. So there's a site called MyEtherWallet, and MyEtherWallet, they warn you that they're not a bank, that they don't hold money. It's just an interface between the website and the blockchain. The blockchain doesn't hold money either. That blockchain holds Ethereum or Ethereum tokens. And so the idea is you want to get somebody who already owns Ethereum to put Ethereum into your account. You need to make a new account on the blockchain by asking somebody to transfer into your account. So one way that we do that is we create a new wallet. So I'm going to do a test one so that you guys can see everything first. And on this password, this is always confusing when I try to explain it, but Ethereum has this idea of a JSON file, and then it has a password that you use to encrypt the file, and then in that file is the encrypted private key that goes with your account. Today we're not going to encrypt the private key, so we don't need a password to encrypt the private key. And this password that we're entering, if I were to enter A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, let me just make this. Okay, I'm just going to use this as my password, 55ETH20. All right. So when I say create new wallet, it's telling me to download the file. And if I look, here's the private key. Okay, this private key is not dependent on that password. I used 55ETH20 as my password, but it gave me a random private key, and it secured it with my password. So my password, if I give it to somebody else, they're still not going to have the random private key. The private key is in that file, and that file is encrypted with my password. So if I wanted to give somebody this account, I would have to give them my password here plus the file, and then they could use my password to decrypt the file, which gives them the private key. Sounds really confusing, but just as an example, I'm going to paste this private key here, and then I'll just do it again with the exact same password, and you can see that. Okay, so we'll copy this, we'll paste this, and we will show this private key. So you can see these private keys are completely different. The password you type in there has nothing to do with the private key. So that file that I downloaded is an encrypted file, encrypted with this password, and in there one file has this private key and one file has that private key. So if you don't care about encrypting your private key or saving it or anything like that, then you really don't need to remember the password. You just need to remember the private key. So they don't really make this clear. They're like, do not lose it. Actually, on the private key, not losing it is very important. Okay, so knowing that, when I create a new wallet, I don't remember my password. It's going to save an encrypted file to my computer, and it's going to be encrypted with this password that I don't care to save. So I don't key in any password. If you do key in a password, your data is actually less secure because it's a password that you know, and if somebody asked you to say it, you would say it. So if you type in some password that you don't know, I think that's probably more secure. At least that's how I use this website. Now it won't let me click I understand without downloading the file. So I'm downloading this file that's got a private key in it. It's encrypted with a password that I don't even know what the password is. But when I click I understand, I get the private key, which is what I really wanted in the first place. Let's see. This is going to be the slow version of Ethereum paper wallets. Either in this video or in the next video, I'm going to make a fast version. where we just do it and we don't go into all the details ad nauseum. But there's something else that I feel like I need to show about private keys. If you count how many characters are in this private key, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 32. So there's 64 characters in this private key. We can change some of these numbers. So we can put 1, 2, 3 in the private key. A lot of people are concerned that if they generate a wallet on a website, maybe that website is stealing their money or something like that. We can go in here and just type in my birthday, you know, like 555 or whatever, as long as it's 64 characters. You'll notice that the letters only go up to F, and it doesn't matter in Ethereum whether it's uppercase or lowercase. So I can put a capital A, I can put a capital B. In Bitcoin, the upper and lowercase is very important, and in a lot of different coins, upper and lowercase is a way to keep track of the private key or the public address, and you don't want to be messing with that. But on the Ethereum network, it's just the numbers 0 through 9, A through F, and that A through F can be upper or lowercase. So if I can make my own private key, why do I even need this website? So like I can just say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that, and give some letters. And now I have my own private key, if that's 64 characters still. So this website is just doing me a favor by generating it randomly. If I make a private key very simple like that, it's a valid private key on the Ethereum network. The problem is every single unique private key maps to one public address. So let me just make sure we've got 64 characters here. I'll let you know what I'm talking about. Just realized that I'm really geeking out on this stuff. So I'm going to try to rein myself in and just get the $20 of Ethereum sent and not give you guys all the details about private keys. So once you have a private key like this, one of the things that the website does for you is it gives you this pretty paper wallet. So you get the same private key here. They encrypt it with a encode it with a QR code, and then they translate this private key into your address. They do that by hashing, and then they give you a nice barcode for the address. Now, what if I made my own private key? So let's go back here, and you notice I can't type in here. But what if I want my private key to be 1111, which I don't recommend? If you go in here to send, so let's keep track of this here. Actually, I'm just going to print this out. Control P. Print. Make sure it's on. Printer's warming up. There we go. Okay, so this is an Ethereum paper wallet, and we've got the private key, which matches this one on the paper, and that's over here. And then how in the heck did it come up with this address? And can I copy this? Yeah. Control C. Okay, so this is private, and this is my address. Address, public key, those are kind of synonymous terms. So how did we get from here to here? There's a method called hashing, and whatever you put into one side of the hash, it'll give you one exact thing on the other side. But if we have this address, we can't unhash it and get to this. So if you have the private key, you can easily get your address. And let's just close out of these things. And let's close out of this for now. So in MyEtherWallet, let's use it to hash our private key and see what happens. So we're not creating a new wallet this time. We want to put MyEtherWallet to work and have it hash the private key and turn it into an address. So if we click on Send Ether and Tokens, we click on Private Key, and in here we take the private key and paste it. When we hit Unlock, that's basically hashing the private key, turning it into an address that we can see, and then it'll also allow that same private key to be used to make transactions to be broadcast on the Ethereum blockchain. So I'm going to click Unlock, and this address should match the same one from our paper wallet. So this starts in 80D, ends in D0A, and what do you know? It matches. So if Ethereum can take this private key and hash it in a blink of an eye and turn it into this address, could it hash this private key? Let's find out. And I want to make sure that's the right length. Yeah. Let me just delete these. Okay, so here we go. We'll go back to Send Ether and Tokens, private key. We'll put in our 64 character super secret private key. We'll unlock it. And it hashed it in the blink of an eye to this address. So now we have this private key, and it hashes to this address. Now, I'm curious if anybody has ever sent any money to this address, because that's a pretty common looking private key. In the blockchain, obviously somebody can spend the money because everybody has that private key. So if I put $100 on that, you know, if I put a tenth of an ether out there, you guys would know the password, the private key, and be able to take that money back. So let's just go out and explore that. Etherscan. And let's take this address that goes with the super secret. Look at that. There's a whole bunch of history. 1,075 people that have used this wallet. And I bet if we go to the end, you can see people putting money in this wallet. So we just made up our own private key, and 600 days ago somebody else happened to pick the same exact private key. I wonder why. And they used it, and then somebody, maybe the same person, maybe somebody different, they pulled the money out. So when you pick a private key that's guessable, like a bunch of ones, we could do the same thing for zeros. So if we just go in here, and it's anything guessable. I mean, I bet if I do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's a lot of 1, 2, 3s. I bet we can, you know, somebody might have used this. This may not be as popular, but I am really geeking out. I'm enjoying this. Sorry if you just wanted to put $20 on Ethereum, but this is the hash that goes with that private key. And if we go and see if anybody's used this before, looks like nobody has used it. Maybe I picked something that's a little bit too obscure. Let me just try a bunch of zeros. I want to have a little bit of fun. Zeros and a 1. I think zeros could be like some special number, so I don't want to. So let's see what the hash of that is. And that goes here. And then, let's see, this goes here. Ah, okay. People are using this. So the password of a bunch of zeros and a 1 at the end, people have been using that for 500 days. Somebody put a full ether on that 500 days ago, and then they let it sit there for 16 hours, and then somebody, maybe the same person, maybe not, they pulled the ether out 0.99, and you know, I don't know if that was by mistake or on purpose. Looks like these other values are pretty small. I don't know if we can find anybody that's not the brightest. This person is probably not the brightest. They put in a 100th of an ether, and then somebody pulled it off. Anyway, so kind of interesting. You don't want to be using private keys like this. You don't even want to take a private key and put your birthday in there. You know, changing a few digits is one thing, but you know, for security, maybe you don't want the website that you're working with to know your private key. You don't want them to generate it in full, but you want to make sure it's random, and if anybody guesses that private key, as somebody was able to guess this one and this one, they'll hash to an address. This address is hard to tell that the private key behind it is so unsecure, and it'll work just like any other Ethereum account, but it won't be secure. So you can use MyEtherWallet, this feature right here, to generate a random private key. You can take that, change some digits around, or you can just leave it as is. It's nice and convenient. When you leave it there, you get a nice paper wallet. And these addresses, they haven't been used on the blockchain. You can look to see, because you can use an Explorer, find out if the address has ever been used. You know, I hope it is. I hope when you pick a random private key and then you go out to the blockchain and you explore that address that goes with it, I hope there's $1 million for you on there, and it's yours for the taking. But the chances of that, each private key is, there's so many of them, it's about the same number of stars in the universe or grains of sand in the sea. It's really hard to randomly pick one that hasn't been you know, that somebody else has already used, I should say. Okay, so enough of that side track. I'm going to change my screen to just me, so we can't see the paper wallet that I'm about to generate. And I'm putting in a password that I'm never going to remember. If anybody asks me, I won't have any idea what that is. And I'm printing out the paper wallet. There's my printer sound. I'm going to close those screens, and then I'll come back to my share. All right, so the paper wallet on the top of my printer is secure. These other ones that I've been playing with are not so secure, so I'm gonna crunch these up and throw those away. I'm gonna take my secure paper wallet, which is here, and I'm going to cut it down with some scissors into a wallet size. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I want to see if I just made a ton of money by guessing somebody else's account, which is not going to happen, but just to show you that, geek out a little bit more. So we're going to scan the address in. All right, bummer. We've got a fresh empty account, fresh random private key that you know, is virtually impossible for anybody to guess. So now I'm going to transfer $20 onto this account. This is the barcode that goes along with this address. So I'm going to grab my phone, and I've already got some Ethereum on my phone. I'm going to transfer it over into this paper wallet that I just generated. So the wallet on my phone that I'm using is called Cypher. It's a company that was recently bought out by Coinbase, and it has fingerprint security. It allows you to send Ethereum. I don't know if you can see this screen, but basically you just scan. And so I'm scanning the address on my screen. I'll read it to make sure that it looks good, which it does. And now it's asking me how much Ethereum I want to send. So I want to send $20 worth, and it doesn't let me do that in US dollars. It just does it in Ethereum. So I'm going to use my calculator to find out how much $20 is. It's $814 a coin. So 20, come on. 20 divided by 814.38. 0.024. So if I think that through, I've got, if that were a 1, it'd be $800, $80, $8, and I'm doing 20, so it's 16. Yeah, that looks correct to me. So I'm going to do 0.025. So I've got my phone here, and I'll type 0.025. Oh, it actually does convert it. At the bottom, it says $20.55. I'm going to hit continue, and it's asking me to approve and scan my fingerprint. Alright, now we'll check the balance over here. So I'll refresh with an F5. So I don't see anything yet. It takes just a moment. There we go. So I've got a pending transaction. This one was sent with 2 GUI of gas. And the gas has to do with the speed. It has to do with the likelihood of whether this transaction will be recorded in the next block of the blockchain. I think, let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum has a pretty fast blockchain. Ethereum, Wikipedia. It's 15 seconds. So basically, this amount of gas that you're paying, this is it's kind of a competition or an auction between you and all the other people out there that are trying to make transactions on the Ethereum network. It can make a transaction every 15 seconds, and people who pay more fees, their transactions are more likely to be picked up by the miners and put into the blockchain, into the next block that the miners mined. We paid 2 gas, and we've been waiting more than 15 seconds. Oh, it just went through. So if you want to get an idea of how much gas to pay, there is a ETH Ether gas station info, and this will tell us if you, let's see, well, you'll just have to look at this site. I don't look at it all the time, but there's this idea of a safe low amount, so 3, and a standard amount. So usually you want to pay one of those. I just paid less, and it took about 30 or 45 seconds to get mapped into the blockchain. So that's done, and I've got my paper wallet here. I'm going to hide my private key by folding it. And there's a little bit of the private key on the bottom. I'll just put my finger over it. But this is the public key, and the private key is over here folded. So it's secure. I'm going to drop it into the cash box. And I want to record. Actually, I'll just grab this whole, not that one. So there's my balance, $20.49. But I'm going to grab this whole thing and add it into our portfolio. We're done with all this stuff. And I can record how much ETH it was. Done with that. Okay, so we now own some Ether. We've got a portfolio balanced by $63 of Bitcoin and $20 of Ethereum. That roughly balances with the market cap of the 2 top coins. So we have $67. The billionaires out there have 168 billion of Bitcoin. For Ethereum, we have $20 of Ethereum. The billionaires out there have 81 billion. So we're actually balanced a little bit heavier on Bitcoin than the other people out there. But as we continue to record more, we'll keep buying $20 each time. We'll grow our portfolio. We're going to get some Ripple someday. We'll get Bitcoin Cash, EOS. I'm tempted to show you EOS right now because EOS is super popular. So what I can do is, if we look at the ratio of Ethereum to EOS, you can see EOS is about 1/4 of the market cap of Ethereum, a little less than 1/4. So that means, you know, $4 of EOS would be a safe ratio, in my opinion. So if I say I want $4 of EOS, whoops, can't type here, EOS. There's a neat network out there called Kyber that will allow us to trade. Let's do the math real quick on what $4 would be. So $4 would be 4, 8, 12, 16, a quarter of an EOS, roughly. 0.25 EOS is going to be roughly $4.50 or something like that. So why don't we just go ahead and buy some EOS right now, just since it's popular out there. This coin, EOS, has been going bananas. If you look at the chart, it was hit an all-time high. It's still above the high from January, December. If we look at the 3-month chart, and I'm not saying this because usually, you know, if a coin goes up in value, that means it costs more. It's not such a good deal to buy. The reason that I'm kind of excited as I talk about this coin is because the market's excited. The billionaires out there are excited. They used to be in for a market cap of $4 billion down here, and then, you know, just a few weeks they were at $18 billion. So these guys, whoever the rich people are out there are, decided that this was a coin they wanted to put their money on. You can see these volumes have increased. So we're not going to buy it because we think it's a good price, or because we think it's going to go up in value, or because we think we know something more than the market in general. We're going to buy it because it's popular, because other people are buying it, and we want to try doing what they're doing. We're going to blow a whopping $4 on this, and you know, that's not going to buy us a Lamborghini anytime soon, but it will allow us to experience some of the technology behind this EOS coin. And there's a concept called registration that we'll have to do as well. So debating whether I should cut this video and start the next one, because it's just about EOS. I think what I'm going to do for now is I'm just going to buy the Ethereum, and then I'll talk about the registration, but I'm not actually going to register it on here unless I get a second wind. So here we go. So we've got our Ethereum. Now I've got $20. I can start having fun with Ethereum. I want to spend about $4 on EOS. So the way I do that is I go to Kyber network. This is an exchange. I'm going to use the private key. I don't know whether it's going to show this key on the screen or not. I don't want to show you guys the key to $20. So I'm going to switch back to just me for a moment. And let's see if it were to show it on the screen or not. This is not the most safe way. Okay, it didn't show it on the screen. So let me... Actually, just let me get in there because I don't want it to show it later. Okay, so sorry about that. I had to secure my 20 bucks. So here it is. This is the same $20 that we just put out there. We're using Kyber Network, and we have got some Ethereum that we want to exchange to EOS. We calculated before that it was 0.25 EOS, and we're going to hit exchange. It's telling us this is that gas price. It just broadcast the transaction to the network. And we're going to wait until the network can see it, which usually just takes a moment. refreshing a little bit. Come on, Ethereum. So the block times are 15 seconds. It really doesn't help to refresh more often than every 15 seconds because you're between blocks. There we go. It's already confirmed. And I believe we already own some EOS. So I've got my wallet here, and I'm going to scan in my address, and I'll go to tokens. There we go. We're the proud owner of a quarter EOS. Great. So now that we've got EOS in our account, the problem with EOS is that after June 1st, they're going to switch to a new blockchain, and this is the blockchain that everybody's excited about. We're all waiting for June 1st, but in order for our value to transfer from this wallet into EOS on June 1st, we've got to register our tokens. And the way that we do that is we go to let's see if I can find it. Let me just go back to the main screen here. Oh, it's not here. It's in MyEtherWallet. So to register the token, we go to contracts. We select the EOS contract. It's called EOS contribution. We open up the contract. When we do that, it gives us a bunch of functions here. The two that we care about are called keys and register. So if we click on keys and we type in our address, scan in our address, it'll tell us that nothing is there. That's kind of the default. Oh, shiny. We want to register something into that spot. So if we go to register and we type in my name, Ray. I want Ray to own this EOS. This is an example. I have to use the private key from this wallet, which I need to switch screens again. Sorry about that. One of these days I'll goof that up and somebody will get some money. Alright, so now I don't know if it's hiding my key or not. I think it is. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't want to just share it out. Yeah, maybe I will. Why not? Okay. So we're back to the screen. So I'm going to hit right. So I'm registering my EOS with the word Ray. Now this isn't going to get me any EOS. Ray is a terrible public address for EOS. It's not going to work, but I just want to show you that you can put anything you want on there. You can put your mom's name on there, and it'll cost you about 5 cents or something. We'll take a look and see what this costs. So it just did it. Let me go out here and see what we got. So it's saying 4 minutes ago we got some EOS, but do we have Ray on there? That's my question. I'm waiting for it to be recorded to the blockchain if it was. And I don't think there's any validation as far as, well, let's go look under keys and read. Maybe it just didn't like that Ray. I thought I could register anything I want. Okay, let's try. I really thought that would work. Yeah, it worked. It's just still pending. So this is me trying to register my name, register my EOS tokens on the Ethereum network with my name, Ray, which is not going to transfer to the EOS blockchain on June 1st. I just want to give you an example of, you know, what's possible and how it's possible to mess things up if that's what you wanted to do. So I'm going to let this confirm. Let's see here. I just want to see. Nobody is out here chatting. It's a lonely stream. When I put EOS and registering on the title, I can go out on some message boards because a lot of people are asking how to do this. I might get some people watching this video actually. This could be useful for some people. Come on. So we're waiting for those 15-second blocks to pass. We only paid 2 GUI for this. I guess when I'm recording videos, I shouldn't be so cheap. And we can adjust this GUI right here. I can change it to 4. And that just makes it so the miners are more interested in what I'm trying to send them. Right now, you know, they're processing the other people's transactions, and the other people might have paid 4 GUI, or maybe they were waiting longer or moving more Ethereum around, and for whatever reason the miners are more interested in serving those people and not me. If I want to get to the front of the line, I just increase the GUI, and you know, on a light day it doesn't matter. You can actually send stuff for 1/10 of a GUI. So the maximum that this transaction can cost me is 8 cents. It'll probably cost me about 1 cent. When it's a light network day and you choose 1/10 of a GUI or something, it's like way less than a penny. But when it's a heavy day, even 10 GUI or 20 GUI is not going to be enough to push your transaction through. I'm going to let this cook here for a minute and just show you how you can get real EOS keys. So we'll go out here. Now, warning, you know, it's possible that these people are giving, you know, that they already have this private key that they're holding on to, and they're being sneaky, and then you register your EOS to this, and then on June 1st they use their password, or maybe this password doesn't even work for you, but they know the real one. You know, it says source code can be reviewed here. I trust a lot of these sites. I'll usually, you know, try several of them, or I'll try an offline version, or I'll geek out and try to read the source code or the message boards. But, you know, do this at your own risk. I'm not endorsing this page, but this is a way to generate a private key. This private key is in Bitcoin format, so the upper and lower case does make a difference. You don't want to mix that up. And then it hashes to an EOS public key. There's a way, another page, and maybe I'll find it here, where you can make your own private key, or you can change some digits around, and then it'll hash it for you and come up with a public key. I think that one, I like that a little better. Let's see. A lot of people are pointing to this guy. But basically you just have to go out and find a way to generate your EOS keys. So let's just let's check in on our, wow. Okay, so Ethereum, when you set the gas price too low, which it looks like I did, and your transaction won't mine, and it sits there and pending forever, one thing you can do is just wait. If you have the patience, you can wait 2 hours, you can wait 2 days. You know, the problem is not that we did 2 GUI. 2 GUI is plenty. It would have been mined by now. The problem is this contract is very busy. Everybody's excited about EOS, and we can actually look and see who we're competing against. We're waiting in line to get mined, and if we click on this, all these people are in pending status, and we can see how much GUI they've paid. So this guy paid 16 GUI, and well, he's only been waiting for 5 seconds, but he might go through because he paid so much. But all these people that paid are waiting like 10 minutes. You can look at the GUI they paid. This is kind of ridiculous. He paid 8 GUI and he's still waiting 12 minutes. So anyway, don't think that you're going to just register your EOS on the last hour of the last day, because I guarantee this site is going to be backed up, you know. So one thing you can do is you could send your EOS tokens to Binance and hope that they register their EOS and that they convert it. I'm not going to do that. I've registered my own EOS. But as you can see, trying to register a quarter of an EOS today for 2 GUI is not a good idea. So I'm just going to leave it at that. It's okay. I'm not in any hurry. I think this will go through. It might take an hour or two. Let's see how long, just out of curiosity, how long the longest person's been waiting. The poor guy. Let's go here to 25 and last. So the longest person's been waiting an hour, and they're paid 1/4 of a GUI. So we're paying a lot more than that. All these people that are waiting like a half an hour plus, they're paying like 1/10 of a GUI. You know, we paid 2 GUI, so we paid full price. I don't feel like we tried to undercut this guy here. He's been waiting for 29 minutes. He paid his 2. I'm sure he'll get mined in no time, and he'll have his EOS nicely registered. So the basic idea is you Google out there, figure out how to make a EOS key pair. Man, I want to just keep going. I want to show you how to make an EOS paper wallet with their real keys. You know, EOS doesn't have a nice site like MyEtherWallet that prints you up a beautiful wallet. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to quit talking, but you can just watch me make an EOS paper wallet. All right. I noticed I had some spaces at the end of that one. I just want to make sure I don't have spaces. I'm going to redo these anyway, but come on. Yeah, no spaces. And I'll leave some room so I can fold it for security. I'm not really going to use this wallet, but let's print that. All right, so there's my EOS paper wallet, and if I want to see if these keys are any good, let me just close this. So when you use Word or something like that, don't save it. You know, if you're making a paper wallet, the whole point is to not have these keys on your computer. If somebody hacks your computer, if they break into your home or something like that and steal your computer, you don't want a bunch of keys on your computer with a bunch of value. You want to get it into paper, get it onto a Trezor or a Ledger, get it in a safe deposit box or a vault outside your home. And anyway, so I'm not going to save this document. We don't need this anymore. But what I can do is, let me just pull up Notepad. And I can just verify that these barcodes even work. So I'll scan the top one and just read on here EOS ending in HT and private key 5J W9. Yeah. So you would register that to your not your, you never register your private key. You want to register your public key only. Curious if this thing ever mined. It never did. So we'll be waiting a while. But you want to register this one to your contract, and let's see, where was that? That was right here. And when you're done, if you go to keys, I don't know why that was there. Let's see. Keys. Oh, it's like the keys to, and read. Yeah, there's not going to be anything to read right now because my transaction hasn't finished. But and plus I registered the name Ray. But you want to register. This is where you could enter in your EOS. So this is my EOS paper wallet. Your address. This is where you'd write your address. And I'm not going to write this address because it's been compromised. You guys have seen it. And I don't really, anyway, so we bought some EOS. We haven't registered it yet. I tried to register it to Ray. Maybe that's why they're making me wait forever. But I think that's it for the stream. Thanks for watching, and have a great day or evening wherever you're at. There we go.